Well, 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 let's get into some inequalities, huh? So we're going to match the symbols here. Which one is this? Oh, that is the symbol for less than. Whoa. When it's got a line underneath, that means less than or equal to. Wow, okay. And the next one would be greater than and greater than or equal to. Okay, so in the equation unit, you just got a solution like x is 3, right? It was one single solution. Now you're going to get things like x is greater than or equal to 3. So it could be 3, but it could also be anything that's larger than 3. It could be 3.00008 or 500 million. All of those are included. So the way we show the solutions there is we use a number line. So you'll have a number line, you'll have a 3 on there. And if it's something like greater than or equal to, it could be that number. So like x is greater than or equal to 3, it could be 3. So the way we show that is with a full dot, a closed dot, you fill it in. If it was just like x is greater than 3, then 3 would not be part of that solution because 3 is not greater than 3. So it would be an open dot. And then you shade the direction that has all the possible solutions. So the numbers on a number line greater than 3 would be like 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. So then you just shade it in that direction to show all of these numbers in the shaded region would be considered solutions of the inequality. So less than and greater than, you have an open circle because the number is not part of the solution. And then if you have the or equal to's, it's going to be a closed circle or a full circle because it is part of the solution. So what I always try to remember is like, if they're going to use the extra ink to put the or equal to, then I'm going to use the extra ink to fill in my dot. Whoa! That was free. I'm not even going to charge you for that. So t is less than 1. Their question here is very nice. Is 1 a solution? Can you say that 1 is less than 1? No, you can't. That's why it gets the open dot, because it's not technically included in that solution. Now, which numbers are less than 1? Obviously 0, -1, all of these. So we just kind of shade in this direction. Make sure your shading is obnoxiously easy to tell which direction you shaded. If I can't tell, it's probably going to get marked wrong. So overshoot it. Be obnoxious with it a little bit. Now there's a song for this, and this is a good song. If the letter is first, then follow the arrow. If the letter is second, then don't. It's a Katy Perry song. But look, your letter's written first, the T. So you follow the arrow. The arrow in the inequality is pointing left, so you shade left. Oh my gosh. If the letter's first, follow the arrow. Try this one out. See if you can graph this one. I'm going to graph it right now. It's got the or equal to's, so I know that's going to be a filled in dot, closed dot. All the numbers greater than -4 or follow the arrow. It's pointing right, so we would shade to the right. This shows all of our solutions. So is -2 a solution? Well, yeah, it's shaded. Is -4 a solution? You bet it is. It's a filled in dot on -4. That wasn't too bad. Of course, we're going to be throwing in multi-step inequalities, but you already did multi-step equations. It's the same thing, except you just have to put your answers on a number line at the end. So -2 plus x plus 5 is greater than or equal to -3. If we were to combine our like terms, I could combine the -2 plus 5. -2 plus 5 is +3. So we have x plus 3 is greater than or equal to -3. We're going to get rid of the plus 3 by subtracting 3. X is greater than or equal to -6. -6 is the only number I care about when I'm checking your solution. So if you want, you could fill in every single one of these lines. It's up to you. I am really only going to look at your -6. So if you want, you could just put -6 there. Now, this is going to get a filled in dot because it's got the or equal to's. Negative 6 is a solution. You could say negative 6 is greater than or equal to negative 6. That's true. And if the letter's first, you follow the arrow. If I look up here, it's pointing to the right, so we're going to shade to the right. Which makes sense because all these numbers on the number line would be greater than negative 6. This would be negative 5, negative 4, negative 3. Those are all bigger than negative 6. I got one for you to try. Pause it, try it, check back in. 5n minus 4n is n. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. And then we will add 2 to both sides. N is less than 0. 0 is on the number line. It's just less than, so it would get an open dot. All the numbers less than 0 are to the left. Or, if the letter's first, you follow the arrow. It's pointing left, so shade left. Whatever. Here's the big deal. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality sign. It's a rule. Only if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number when you're solving them. Multiply, divide both sides by a negative. So we don't need to fill in the chart. Let's just look over here. We have negative x is less than negative 1. Now, if that was just like an equation and it said like negative x equals 5, you could just make it the opposite. X equals negative 5. But really the mathematical step there is you're multiplying or dividing by the negative 1. Because it's like we're doing negative 1x is less than negative 1. So if we divide both sides by negative 1, we have to remember to flip the inequality. So now it's going to switch to greater than, and then negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1. That's the only trick here. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you got to flip the inequality. So we got 1. It's an open dot because it's just greater than. And the letter's first, so we'll just follow the arrow. It's pointing right, so we'll shade right. These are all the numbers that are greater than 1. And it goes on forever to the right. I'm pretty sure I've got a problem for you to try now. Ooh, yeah. So give this a whirl, see how you do. Try it out. I'm going to go over it right now. It's b divided by 4. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. B is greater than, half of 4 is 2. 2. It's just greater than, so it'd be an open dot, and it's pointing to the right. Our letter's first, so we're going to shade right. B is going to be anything greater than 2. The numbers that are greater than 2 are to the right. All right, one more type of problem. At least and at most. So you hope to have gotten at least an 80% C on your final. Now, are you okay if you got a 90? Yeah, that's at least 80. Are you cool if you got a 40? No, that's not at least 40. But how about if it was exactly 80? Is that at least 80? Yeah. So at least is going to be greater than or equal to. So we could pick any letter. Let's say F for final. At least would be greater than or equal to, and we want to get an 80%. Let's get real wild and also put this one on a number line. Again, all I care about is the 80. Open or close dot because it's or equal to, and it's greater than, so we would shade to the right. Now, where this graph could be misleading is like, this graph, the way I've shaded it, could include 5,000. We're not going to get a 5,000% on a test, so technically it would have an end at 100, but we're not even worried about that. So I want you to try out this one. The maximum safe load of a chairlift is 680 pounds. In the spring, a cyclist and bicycle go to the top of the slope using the chairlift. The weight of the person is 124 pounds. The weight of the bicycle is 32 pounds. I bet we'll need that. Which inequality best describes how much additional weight, W, the chairlift could safely carry? So, if we were to say we got the person, we've got the bicycle, and we've got the additional weight, if we want to know how much that's going to be all together, we would add those three things together. So we're looking for something like 124 plus 32 plus W And then it says that its safe load is 680. Could we get it to equal exactly 680? Sure. Could it be less than 680? Sure, that'd be great. Could it be over 680? No, that's going to be a problem. That's unsafe. So it would have to be less than or equal to. So, do any of these show that? Yeah, B. And we will be done for the notes today.